Hello, 7 receiving students and teachers.
Hello, Miss Gurwa.
Thank you. Take your seats. All right, receiving students and the model class, turn to the student sitting next to you or your desk mate, and I'd like you to tell him or her something that you have learned in your last lesson. I'll give you 1 minute to do that. Right. You talk among yourselves with your desk mate of the things that you have learned in your last lesson. All right, receiving students and the model class, I hope you have something interesting to tell the class of your last lesson. Your last lesson was on where does the food go, part 3, large intestine. All right, who's ready to give us your answer or something interesting that you have learned in your last lesson? Anything, any points, interesting points? Or what do you know about the large intestine? Jubilee? Or what is the function of the large intestine? Or how does it look like?
The large intestine digests food.
Thank you, Jubilee. Rhoda?
The large intestine joins down to the anus. It's also thick.
Very good, Rhoda. Receiving students, I hope you have given good answers to your teacher. And I know many of you have some interesting things or answers to do with the large intestine. Simply undigested food passes through the large intestine, and water is removed, and it becomes undigested food becomes feces, or another word for feces is excreta, right? Now, in today's lesson, we are on the topic, where does the food go? And we will look at it as part 4. We will specifically look at the rectum and the anus, right? Now, receiving teachers, we are on the same strand, living things, substrand, nature of living things, and our learning outcome is taken from the teacher guide and the syllabus, which is 7.1.2. Now, class, let's have a look at this diagram that I have on the whiteboard. And you also have this diagram in your workbook. This diagram is found on page 31. And I have it on the whiteboard for you. All right. For the model class, you will refer back to your workbook. That's the similar diagram taken from your workbook. Receiving students, you will tell your teacher, where is the rectum found? You look at the digestive system of this human being, and where is the anus located? Okay, you have lines drawn to the different parts of the digestive system. Now you are to guess where is the rectum and where is the anus? You tell your desk mates or your table mates now. Looking at your workbooks or receiving students from the diagram that I have on the screen for you. Rectum and anus. Because in today's lesson we are looking at these two parts, the rectum and the anus. Now let's see if the model class will tell the receiving students where the rectum is, and you will come up in front and label the part, the two parts. Tara, thank you, the rectum. Wait, excuse. Just wait. Did you draw the arrow from where it is? Okay, yes. All right. Do we have JJ here? All right, class and the receiving students, do you think these two students are correct? Yes. All right, let's see. This is the large intestine, and where it comes to its end, the first part here is the rectum, and after the rectum, at the bottom is the anus. All right, let's have a look at the diagram here. This diagram shows the position of where the rectum and the anus is located. So do you think the rectum and the anus is part of the large intestine? Yes, it is part of the large intestine. Do you know the functions of these two parts? All right. In your lesson today, you will discuss and find out more about the functions of these two parts. Class, we are now going to watch a short video, and this video is on the digestive system of the chicken, and I'd like you to please watch and try to compare the difference between the digestive system of a human being and the chicken. And I'd like you to take note of the differences that you will find while watching the short video. As you can see, this is a live chicken that has been dissected. Now we will go through the chicken's digestive system parts. We all know that digestion starts from the mouth, which is the beak of the chicken, goes all the way through. As food is broken down in the mouth, it goes through the esophagus, which is this one here, and you have a bulgy part of it attached to the esophagus, which is the crop. And after the crop, we have the proventriculus, and then you can see here, this is the heart of the chicken. The stomach is behind the heart. These reddish things here are the liver of the chicken, and we move all the way down. This is the small intestine of the chicken. After the small intestine, we have the large intestine, and it goes all the way through and out from the anus. As you can see from the underside of the chicken, you can see the large intestine all the way down to the anus. Students, what you can see now is the chicken's digestive part being removed from the live chicken. Now let's begin at the top. Look at this part here. What do you think this part is called? If you say it's the mouth, you're correct. Let's see. That is the mouth. Then moving down from the mouth, what do you think this part is? This tube that starts from the mouth all the way to this bulgy part of the chicken. Let's see what the name is. That is called the esophagus. From the esophagus, we have a bulgy part over here. I hope you can remember what this part is called. This is called the crop of the chicken. And from the crop, we move down the other parts of the digestive system of the chicken. What do you think this reddish part is called? If you say it's the liver, let's see. You are correct. This part is known as the liver. From this part, we move down, and this part here shows the proventriculus. Proventriculus is between the crop and this part here. What do you think the name of this part of the chicken is called? If you say it's the gizzard, you are right. More or less, the gizzard can be known as the stomach of the chicken. Now, as we go down further, these other parts are common to you. I'm sure you have already named these parts. Let's see what this part is. That's the small intestine. And after the small intestine, we have other tubes running down. What do you think these tubes are called? These two tubes are called. Let's see. These two tubes that are between the small intestine and the large intestine are called cica. And after the cica, we come back again to the main part of the tube. And finally, we go down here. After the food has been digested, we move further down, and you come to the part that is the big intestine or large intestine. And finally, class, what do you think the ending part of the large intestine is called? Okay, that is the anus of the chicken. That's where the food goes out as waste. Receiving students and the model class, I hope you have found some differences after watching the short video on the digestive system of the chicken. I know you have found some differences between the human digestive system and the chicken's digestive system. Now, I'd like you to discuss among your group mates or desk mates and confirm your answers with them before we go through the differences together in class. All right, let's now come to some answers. Receiving students, tell your teacher. For the model class, let's hear from some students in the class. Anyone with an answer, or what difference did you find while watching the short video? All right, thank you, Shannon. We'll hear from Shannon.
The rectum or anus is found at the ending of the large intestine.
All right, so is that a difference, or they are the same for the chicken and the human?
Same.
All right, good. Thank you. That's his answer. Let's go on to Isaac.
The chicken's intestine is smaller than the human's intestine.
Very good. Thank you. That's one difference. We said an average length of the small intestine is about 7 meters for an adult. That's for human. Any more difference? Thank you. Our friend on that side.
A chicken has a crop, but human's being does not have a crop.
Very good. So a crop in a chicken is actually the temporary stomach at the base of the neck, which sends hunger signals to the brain. It's just the temporary stomach of the chicken. And that's the pathway it sends hunger signals to the chicken, and chicken feels hungry and starts looking for food. Thank you. That's the crop. Very good. I hope many of you have that as one difference. Did you write that down, receiving students in the model class? All right, good. Anyone has something else different? Okay, you have come across some words that like proventriculus. Okay, this is where food is mixed with acids and other digestive juices. Okay, so it's found between the crop and the gizzard. Okay, and the gizzard also that you might also see, it's the stomach of the chicken, and it's where it grinds food and meshes food. Right, and last of all, coming down from the large intestine, you have two tubes, two little tubes. That's called sisa. And sisa is where undigested food is And undigested food is there where it is broken down and ready to be passed onto the large intestine and out of the anus, right? So class, those are the basic parts of the live chicken that are different from the human digestive system. Now let's have a look at our activity questions. The first part of your activity was to label the digestive system. I will leave that for you to do as homework. We have already labeled the rectum and the anus. So the other parts are okay for you. We have learned those parts in our last lesson, except the gallbladder and the pancreas. And we will look at those two parts at the end of this lesson. All right, moving on to activity number 2. These two questions are in your workbook. I'd like you to answer those two questions quickly in your workbook. Where are the rectum and the anus found in the digestive system? Write a short sentence. And what role do they play in the whole digestive system? What role simply means their function. Go on to the next question. Let's discuss this one. What are the rectum and anus found? Where are they? You should describe it. Are they at the top or at the bottom or where? At the end or in the middle? Where are they found? In the middle? On top? How are you going to write that down to describe? Okay, good. Okay, good. What about question number 3? Where is it found? Where are the two parts found? Found at the top, bottom, middle. You describe one another step by step. Then move to the next question. What is their function? What do they do? And now undigested food is covered. Intestine will come out. So what do these two parts do? All right, next question is for you to do as homework. Receiving teacher, please write this question for your students. And for the students with workbooks, this question is already written in your workbook as question number 4. What are some differences between the esophagus and the anus? All right, let's go back to our questions and get answers from some students in the class, model class. Receiving students, please tell your teacher. Let's go back to question number 2. Where are the rectum and the anus found in the digestive system? Thank you. Alan? Right, the rest of the class, please keep quiet and pay attention.
Rectum and anus are found in the end of the large intestine.
Right. Good answer. So if you have written they are found at the end of the large intestine, you are correct. Any other answers? Okay. Good. What role do they play in the whole digestive system? What do you think? Maria?
The digestive system breaks down food and so that it can be used by the body.
Thank you. You are now giving us the general answer for the digestive system. But I want you to give me the answer for the function of these two parts. Walter.
Releases waste from the human's body.
All right, thank you very much. That's a good answer for the role of those two parts. Becky?
Rectum keeps waste and anus throw out waste.
All right. According to Beckley, rectum keeps waste and anus throw out waste. Good answer. Okay, you could, if your answer is similar to that, give yourself a tick. Right. Hopefully the receiving students have the same answers as the model class or quite similar. Your teacher will help you. All right, let's look at the summary points. And the summary points will give us the answers of our question. Copy these two summary points down. Class, we have come to the end of our lesson on the human digestive system. I am going to now go through this chart just to recap on what we have learned so far in this couple of lessons that has gone by and in today's lesson. Right, paying attention. The chart here shows the digestion in the alimentary canal. Simply means the tube that starts from the mouth all the way down to the anus. That is called the alimentary canal. Okay, that's where food passes through. So we have seen all the parts, and you all are familiar with the parts. There are two parts that we did not go through in class that is important in the human digestive system. That is the gallbladder. If you look carefully at the chicken, you cut open, you'll see a green stuff attached to the liver. That is called the gallbladder. And that is where bile is a digestive juice. It is produced in the liver and it is stored in the gallbladder. And that juice helps to digest food. And next one that we did that is important in the digestive system is the pancreas. Okay, this is the pancreas here. This is where the pancreas is. Pancreas is another important organ in the digestive system. And pancreas produces digestive juice that also helps to digest food. Right. And the other organ that we have seen here is the liver. And liver is this reddish part of the digestive system. And the liver stores chemicals, and it's the central heating system of the body. All right, so we have now learned all the parts of the digestive system, and you have looked at how each of those parts function. And today's lesson, we looked at the rectum and the anus, and you also compared the digestive system of the chicken and the human being. All right, let's go to our key phrase for today's lesson. I know you have in your minds already what the key phrase is. Let's see. Okay, rectum and anus. Our next lesson is going to be on what is necessary for burning. Listen carefully, the materials for you to bring for each group: 3 candles, transparent containers. Those containers can be like H2O or Mount Franklin containers, 1 liter, big containers, and you must have the ends of those containers open. So you must cut open the bottom part of it so both ends are open. Molding clay can be plasticine or clay, and cardboards. With that, thank you class for your participation in today's lesson.